Your mind is weak, and you know it. Every time life gets hard, you crumble. You reach for your phone. You distract yourself. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow never comes, does it? But here's what's terrifying. You think this is normal. You think everyone struggles like this. You think mental weakness is just part of being human in 2026. You're wrong. There's a 400-year-old Japanese practice that created the most mentally unbreakable warriors in history. Men who could sit in freezing water for hours, who could endure physical torture without breaking, who trained their minds so completely that pain became irrelevant. And before you click away thinking this is some mystical nonsense, it's not. This is a systematic method backed by neuroscience, used by elite athletes today, and completely accessible to you, right now, today. I'm going to show you exactly how it works, the science behind it, and why your current approach to mental toughness is actually making you weaker. But first, do me a favor. If you're serious about building real mental strength, not the fake Instagram kind, the actual unbreakable kind, hit that like button. Subscribe, because what I'm about to share challenges everything you think you know about discipline. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus was a software engineer. Smart guy. Good job. Completely falling apart. He'd wake up with plans, big plans. Today, I'll meditate. Today, I'll work out. Today, I'll finish that project. Today will be different. By 10 a.m., scrolling. By noon, already defeated. By evening, hating himself for being so weak. Sound familiar? Here's what Marcus didn't understand, what you don't understand. You think mental strength is about motivation, about pumping yourself up, about positive thinking and vision boards and morning affirmations. That's exactly why you're failing. Because when real pressure hits, when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and it's cold and dark, when that difficult conversation needs to happen, when the project is due and you're exhausted, motivation disappears, positive thinking crumbles, your affirmations mean nothing, and you're left with the same weak mind you started with. Marcus tried everything. He read the self-help books, listened to the podcasts, followed the gurus, cold showers, meditation apps, productivity systems. Nothing stuck. Because here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. You're not training your mind, you're medicating it. Every technique you use is just another way to avoid the real work of building genuine mental strength. The Japanese warriors understood something you don't, something that modern psychology is only now beginning to prove. Your mind isn't weak because you lack motivation. Your mind is weak because you've never actually trained it. That's when Marcus discovered Naikan. Not the meditation practice you're thinking of, something deeper, something that the samurai adapted into a method so powerful it could transform a frightened young warrior into someone who could face death without flinching. Naikan means looking inward, but not the fluffy self-reflection you do in your journal. This is a systematic practice of mental conditioning that rewires how your brain processes discomfort, fear, and weakness. Here's why everything else fails. Modern mental training is about addition. Add meditation, add cold showers, add discipline, add more techniques. But your mind is already too full, too loud, too cluttered with distractions and excuses and comfortable lies. The samurai knew this. They understood that mental strength isn't built by adding more. It's built by stripping away everything until only the unbreakable core remains. Think about it. When you face a difficult moment, what happens? Your mind floods with thoughts, excuses, rationalizations. I'm too tired. I'll do it later. It's not that important. That's the noise. That's what's killing your mental strength. Naikan teaches you to sit with that noise, not fight it, not overcome it, but to observe it so completely that it loses its power over you. This sounds simple, but here's the catch. Most people can't do it. They try for a day, maybe a week, and quit. Because true Naikan doesn't feel good. It doesn't give you dopamine hits. It doesn't make you feel productive. It makes you uncomfortable, on purpose. And that's exactly the point.
Let me show you how this actually works. The traditional Naikan practice involves 3 questions asked repeatedly over days. What have I received from others? What have I given to others? What troubles and difficulties have I caused others? But Marcus didn't care about ancient tradition. He wanted results. So here's what he did differently. He took the core principle, systematic self-observation without judgment, and applied it to his mental weakness. Every time he wanted to quit something, he would stop, not push through, not motivate himself, stop. And he would observe, why do I want to quit right now? Not to judge the feeling, not to overcome it, just to see it clearly. Here's what happened. The first time Marcus did this, he was 10 minutes into a workout. His mind screamed at him to stop. Every cell in his body wanted to quit. So he stopped, sat down, and observed. I want to quit because my legs hurt, because this is uncomfortable, because scrolling TikTok would feel better right now. That's it. No judgment, just observation. Then he stood up and continued, and something strange happened. The voice in his head that usually screamed for him to quit, it got quieter. Not because he fought it, because he saw it for what it was. Just a voice. Just noise. Not him, not reality. Just noise. The neuroscience behind this is frightening in its simplicity. Your brain has a negativity bias. It's wired to avoid discomfort. When you face something hard, your amygdala fires up, flooding you with uncomfortable sensations designed to make you quit. Most people fight this. They try to overcome it with willpower. But willpower is finite. It runs out. The samurai knew better. They trained themselves to observe the discomfort without reacting to it. And when you observe something long enough without judgment, it loses its control over you. Marcus started applying this everywhere. Difficult conversation coming up? Observe the fear. Don't fight it. Don't psych yourself up. Just see it clearly. Want to hit snooze? Observe the desire. See where it comes from, what it really is. Within 3 weeks, something shifted. But here's where everyone fails with this practice. They turn it into another self-help technique, another thing to do right, another way to perform mental toughness. That's not Naikan. That's ego in disguise. The second principle Marcus learned was brutal. You must observe your weakness without creating a story about it. Listen carefully. When you fail, your mind immediately creates a narrative. I'm lazy. I'm not disciplined. I'm not like those successful people. These stories feel true. They feel like insight. They're lies. They're your mind protecting itself from the deeper truth. Marcus discovered this during his morning routine. He'd been trying to wake up at 5 a.m. for years. Always failed. Always had the same story. I'm just not a morning person. One day he applied pure observation. No story. I pressed snooze. My hand moved automatically to the phone. I felt the urge to sleep. I obeyed it. No, I'm not a morning person. No identity. No story. Just observation. And here's what he realized. The story was the weakness. The story made his failure permanent, made it part of his identity, made change impossible. Without the story, it was just an action he could choose differently next time. This is where it gets interesting. The third principle is the one that creates transformation. Observe others through the same lens. When someone cuts you off in traffic, your mind creates a story. That person is an idiot. People are so selfish. Naikan strips that away too. A person changed lanes. I felt anger. My heart rate increased. I wanted to react. No story, no judgment, just reality. And when you see reality without the stories you tell yourself, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes spacious. The constant chatter, the judgments, the fears, the excuses, they start to fade. Not because you fought them, because you saw them clearly enough that they lost their grip. Marcus practiced this for 66 days. Not because some self-help guru said 66 days creates a habit, but because that's how long it took for the practice to become automatic. By day 30, something shifted. The voice that used to scream at him to quit was still there, but it was distant, like background noise instead of a command. By day 50, he noticed something frightening. He could sit with discomfort indefinitely, not through gritting his teeth, not through willpower, but through pure observation. The discomfort was there, he saw it, and it didn't matter anymore. 6 months later, Marcus is unrecognizable, not because he's now some superhuman who never struggles, but because struggle doesn't control him anymore. He wakes up at 5 a.m., not every day, but most days, and when he doesn't, there's no story about it, no self-judgment, no "I'm weak," just observation and adjustment. He has difficult conversations without the anxiety paralysis he used to feel, not because the anxiety disappeared, but because he observes it, sees it clearly, and acts anyway. His work output tripled, not because he's more motivated, because he stopped obeying every voice in his head that told him to stop. Here's what the skeptics don't understand. They think mental strength looks like grinding, like forcing yourself through misery, like being hard and closed and tough. That's not strength, that's brittleness. Real mental strength looks like flexibility, like being able to observe discomfort without reacting to it, like seeing your own weakness clearly and moving forward anyway. The samurai called this Fudoshin, the immovable mind. Not immovable because it's rigid, immovable because it's so deeply rooted in observation that external circumstances can't shake it. And here's the controversial part nobody wants to hear. You probably won't do this. You'll read this script, you'll feel inspired, you'll think, I should try that. And tomorrow, you'll forget. You'll go back to your motivation videos and your productivity hacks and your comfortable illusions about discipline. Because real transformation is uncomfortable. It requires you to sit with every part of yourself you've been running from, every excuse, every rationalization, every comfortable lie. Most people aren't willing to do that, but maybe you're different. Maybe you're tired of the weakness, tired of breaking your own promises, tired of being controlled by every uncomfortable emotion that passes through you. If that's you, here's what you do. Tomorrow morning when your alarm goes off and you want to hit snooze, stop. Don't force yourself up. Don't give yourself a pep talk. Just observe. I want to stay in bed. This feeling is uncomfortable. My mind is creating reasons to sleep longer. See it clearly. No judgment, no story. Then choose. Not from motivation, not from willpower, from observation. Do this for 1 week. Just observe your desire to quit, to distract, to avoid. Don't fight it, don't overcome it. Just see it. And watch what happens. Your mind will start to change, not because you forced it, because you finally stopped lying to yourself about what's really going on in there. This is the Japanese secret to unbreakable mental strength. Not exotic, not mystical, just brutally honest observation of reality without the stories that make you weak. Subscribe to this channel if you want more techniques that actually work instead of feel-good nonsense that keeps you comfortable and weak. Drop a comment telling me what's the one thing you keep quitting that you know you shouldn't. Be honest, no stories, just observation. And then go do the work. Because your mind is only weak because you've never actually trained it. Today, that changes.